Very hilarious. We're going to get that hand job, buddy.
Hey, I know you made a pledge.
I want to start off telling you guys a little bit about myself. I am the kind of guy that appreciates the small things in life. You know, like thumbtacks, paper clips, things of the sort. But I have found that it's the little things that kill. I'm not being literal anymore. I don't mean like bullets or viruses or Donald Trump's hands. Being figurative. It's little things that kill in a relationship. Not my penis. Again, not being literal. But little things can kill a relationship. I ended a relationship with a woman recently. She had a little problem. I mean, she was anorexic. You know. And that caused a little problem with a guy like me, you know, because I could never get her to swallow. So I moved on. I broadened my horizons, you know, I lowered my standards. I started dating a woman that was a little more voluptuous. She was a plus size, she was a fat chick. I started dating a fat chick. A little problem with her though, she wouldn't toss my salads. I'm being literal and figurative. No, I'm joking. She totally ate my asshole. She's a fat chick. She'd eat anything. Speaking of eating shit, this might be hard to follow, but sometimes I have unpopular opinions, like when I'm in public with strangers. I don't know if anyone picked that up. Probably not, right? Yeah. It's hard to see. But I have unpopular opinions like, MySpace is still cool, or I'm going to vote independent because my vote doesn't matter. I'll just move on. Now, I'm at the kind of age where all my friends are either getting sober or getting pregnant. It can be mutually exclusive. That's, you know, my mother thought so. And it did kind of give me kind of a hatred for alcohol growing up. I got over it by the time I was 21, don't worry. I drink a lot. But my mother and the rest of her family, they were, you know, really raging, you know, partiers. They were alcoholics. They were depressed alcoholics. And growing up, I was averse to drinking, but I started smoking weed, and about the age of 13. And I lived with my grandparents. They didn't catch on or just never called me out on it. But my uncle, who's a cop, he figured it out right away. One day he just comes to me and he tells me a cop joke, and I reply with my best Tommy Chung, like, yeah, it's great. And he's like, wow, brother, did you like smoke the entire ounce of weed before the show, or before the reunion? I was like, no, Uncle Rob, obviously I saved some for later. I have to make it through the whole night. But my grandparents were great. That's the thing about, you know, telling jokes and laughter. Laughter is communication, and it can betray you. It betrayed me. My grandparents, I would try, well, as I was growing up, I would tell them jokes, try to make them laugh. My grandmother, she would always laugh, whether I was funny or not. But I could tell. If I wasn't funny, she would kind of look at me and go, yeah. Like some of you are doing. But if I really made her laugh, she would be like a high society aristocrat caught off guard. She'd be like, oh my, oh, Jessie. My grandfather was the same way. I'd tell him a joke and he'd say, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to watch NYPD Blue! And then he would finish his can of Milwaukee's Best. That's my family. Now you might be able to tell I have unpopular opinions. I already got over that, but one unpopular opinion, especially in Santa Fe, is I'm no longer vegetarian. And in case you were planning on waiting for me after the show to, like, you know, preach to me or something like that, I don't want to hit. Alright? You have your reasons. Like, for instance, perhaps you're vegetarian, you want to tell me that animals raised from meat are treated inhumanely. You know, they're sad, they're teary-eyed little animals. I'm like, that's great. So I should eat kale and cry to myself because I'm sparing a sheep. Maybe the animals would be happier if we fed them all like the kale, arugula, spring mix salads that we're forcing down our gullets. And then when I shoot, a bullet of compressed air into my pretty little lamb's skull, he'll be happy. He lived off of arugula. Oh, little lambs. They're happy little lambs. You guys are all boring. You might tell me it's a healthier lifestyle. Perhaps. You might come up to me and be like, hey, I used to be like you. I'd have a T-bone and eggs for breakfast, and then I'd have 2 Cuban sandwiches for lunch, and then I'd eat a fried chicken for dinner. I'm hungry, yeah. And say, well, now, I eat like a kale arugula salad, and I feel great. Vegetarianism has to be right because it feels good. And it doesn't always work out, though. It might feel good if I was to take some drunk college girl into the back of my van and have my way with her. That would feel great, but it wouldn't make it right. What makes it right is that I own the van. It's a joke. I don't own a van. I'm not that kind of guy. That'd be creepy. Have you seen these standing electric scooters, like George W. Bush has a Segway, but I do not. So moving on. I've been in town a while, but I'm still not sure what the name of the service here is. It hauls all the trash around. The bus. I was on the bus the other day. There's a lot of crazy people that ride the bus, I heard this guy, I overheard this guy talking to his friend, and he says, I hate blowjobs. Crazy, right? How can you hate blowjobs? It's like balloons. Balloons are fun. If you don't like blowjobs, you don't like balloons, it's for the same reason. You were exposed to them too early of an age. I was reading this science report the other day, and they were talking about this thing they came up with. It's some matter that they can program to change its composite form. They're calling it experimental transitional material. I'm trying it right now. It is a laughing matter. I have to be careful what I say in public, if you can imagine. People might overhear me. It could just be some kind of minor, confusion that I cause, or maybe people will look at me like Brendan's doing, as fully disgust and hate. But just little things like trucker handles. It's not where you rest your hands when you're standing at the glory hole. It's what truckers use over the CB radio to identify themselves, like Whiz Bang, or, Thunder Jammer, or like Bob, His names. Or like banana gags. Everyone likes to be gagged by a banana now and then, right? That's where you take a banana and you're like, ha, banana phone, who is it? You sound so appealing. Or you'd be like, I have a mustache, look at me, a banana mustache. Or you'd be like, hey, I'm a mastodon, he lost his other tusk in the war, Too soon? Great Mastodon War? No. Or baby sex. Anyone here ever have baby sex? Well, your parents did. It's when you're in a committed relationship and you're trying to have spawn. You're trying to make a baby. Baby sex. Don't fucking look at me like that. Jesus Christ. Thank you.